I'll let things run for a couple seconds before I start, because you know how it goes. You do know how it goes, don't you? It takes time for this stuff. It takes time. That's why we always kill time at the very beginning. So here's the deal. Last week I had to miss the live session because I was at Woodworking in America, and this week I'm late because we're doing the whole house purchase and earnest money wire transfers. It's been a crazy day, and it's only going to get crazier from here. So why not have a live session right now? I think it's a better time than any. It was either now or never. So 12:30 my time. Hopefully some people can make it here. Let's see. Does everything look good? Looks good on my end. I have my chat open. Let's see. Yeah, so I've got YouTube chat here. So that's where I will be looking at questions. But Facebook will probably see this as well. So just let me know if there's any major issues with the stream. I am trying something a little bit different to avoid some issues, but we'll see how it holds up. So let's get into the good stuff. Oh, if you have any questions or anything, just hit me with them on the YouTube chat. Facebook questions I can go to and answer after the fact if time allows. So really quickly, very personal congratulations I have to give that none of you really know about. So my brother-in-law and sister-in-law just had their baby girl this morning. Brayley was just born probably less than an hour ago. So she's like as fresh and newbie as a little thing can be. Saw a picture of her. She's adorable, covered in slime and everything, which is awesome. So congratulations, guys. I'm sure you have more important things to do than to watch your brother-in-law talk to people online. So, Woodworking in America was pretty awesome, and you guys missed a good time if you weren't there. And not to make you feel guilty about it, but no, I understand. Only, I think, like 400 some people attend the event. So it was great in spite of the fact that I got a cold that I'm still getting over. But it was so awesome. There were just so many people there. I spent most of my time on the marketplace floor, hanging out, talking, meeting people, putting faces with names and all that stuff, which is like my favorite thing to do with those events. So it was a very, very good time. So if you don't have a chance to go, I think Cremona's posting some of his content from his talks. Shannon probably will. I don't know if he's posting anything, but he'll talk about his experience there. But yeah, it was just great. And you might see some pictures and recap videos and stuff like that. I've actually got some video footage that I shot, and I just got to get around to editing it. And I think it's going to be a good time. Oh, by the way, Nicole's not here right now because today is so much phlegm, guys. So much phlegm. It's horrible. Nicole is with the kids inside because it's parent-teacher conference day. So Mateo has off. So she's inside, not with us. That sucks. Oh, man. Hold on. Let me try to wash it down with some water. Let me drip some water on my shirt while I'm washing it down. I'm a mess, guys. I'm a mess. All right, so what else do we have? I've got some pictures. You want to see some? There's like a little photo album here. Nothing too big. I actually didn't take many pictures. I was pretty bad about it. That was the first night meetup, and I finally got to shake hands with Cremona, and we were both eating our pretzels for dinner because I guess that's all they had, and we were starving, and that became our dinner. So there's my boy Cremona. Bunch of other great people there at this meetup. That was the Wood Talk MWA meetup, which is a lot of fun. I got to meet Nick Ferry. Some of you will recognize his smiling face. The guy's got a very interesting sense of humor, and I love it. He's a good dude. Got to hang out with Jay Bates and a bunch of other cool people. And you'll recognize her, Miss April Wilkerson. She was great. She was awesome. I interviewed her. I made her nervous as hell. It was kind of funny, and you'll see in the interview, you could probably see she's a little bit nervous. But maybe putting her in a corner and shoving a camera in her face wasn't the best idea. Like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Here's a camera in your face. But she was awesome. And check this out. So they had books for sale since this was a popular woodworking event. My book was there for sale, and look who sold out. That's right. They ran out. That's pretty cool, though. There's more for sale, though, at the twwstore.com if you want one. All right. So that's my WIA scrapbook, but the upcoming video I'm going to do is going to be pretty cool. It's just, I kind of polled people on certain common questions just to see what they think. So I'll put these compilation videos together, and it should be a lot of fun. What's going on, everybody? Looking at the chat room. Yeah, Cremona does need a haircut, but you know what? I think that He's one of those people that I think his hair is like his source of power. And if he loses his hair, if it gets cut off, then he's not going to have that power anymore. So I think he should keep the hair, if you ask me. Oh, and speaking of colds, you want to see patient 0 for the cold? This is who I'm blaming. That's right. That's little mini Cremona in the backyard giving me the old stink eye. And he was dribbling a little something from his nose, but I missed my son so much. I'm like, screw it. Let's hang out, dude. Let's play a little patty cake, you know? And I'm pretty sure he's the source of my cold. But you know what? Kids are awesome, so it's worth it. Now the challenge was to come home and not give the cold to the rest of my family. Okay, really quickly, and a lot of this just because my head's not in the game right now. I've got so many things to do with the house sale, packing up the shop, getting everything ready, and I've got 2 projects to do before we move. So I apologize for that, but I did want to let you know that this is going to be largely self-promotion. That's the way it is. We've got some sales stuff coming up you might be interested in, and I want to tell you about some cool things coming up. So if you don't like that sort of thing, sorry, you might not want to watch this, but just a little bit of a disclaimer there. Oh, did we get some... we getting some problems? You know what? If that's the case, let me just start over. I'm gonna start over. I don't like it when the stream messes up, folks. Okay, stream is refreshed. We'll see if this works out. At this point, it's do or die if it doesn't work out. You know, that's the joy of live streaming. So very quickly, let's get into it. So we have a 10th anniversary coming up, and it's kind of a big deal. 10 years in the podcasting world is a big thing. So 2006, fall of 2006 was when we started, and we're entering in the fall now, so that means it's been 10 years. And we have some cool stuff that you can pick up. This is a 10th anniversary sticker. Some really awesome logo work there, designed by my buddy John Funk, and he just continues to knock it out of the park with some of the stuff. So if you want this sticker, at least right now, the only way you can get it is to order yourself a t-shirt, and not just any t-shirt, but check this out. Yeah, some people are saying the stream is fine, so I'm just going to keep rolling with it, kids. Only so much I could do, you know. So let's take a look at this. Not Cremona's kid again. Watch out, he'll get you sick too. This is the t-shirt, and it's going to be limited edition, 10th anniversary logo, one color, I think, I'm pretty sure, one color. You have to go to the site and check it out, but twwstore.com is where you could place an order for this. It's very limited time. We're doing this pre-order thing so that we can get just the right amount of shirts ordered and not have a whole bunch of extra inventory. So you have until October 2nd to place your order for the 10th anniversary Wood Whisperer shirt, and you'll get a free sticker when you do so. So that's pretty cool. I think I should order myself one. Don't you? I think it's going to be good. But again, that logo work, John did a great job on that. So thanks for that, John. Okay, and here's the sale announcement that we have. Because we're moving, Nicole and I thought it makes perfect sense to have a Guild inventory reduction sale because we're moving. And who wants to move with all of those Guild videos, right? So we're going to have an inventory reduction sale, and the joke here, I'm not going to explain the joke. If you don't get the joke, then think about it a little more. But in the Guild, I realize these projects are not cheap, and I know a lot of people would like to get into them and maybe not buy 4 projects at once to get a discount. So this is a very limited, kind of a one-time sort of opportunity here to get a project at a very, very cheap price. So every week for the next, I don't know, however long, we are going to pick one project, put it on sale for the weekend. You don't have to put any coupon codes or anything. So as soon as I'm done here, I will go in and put that special pricing in there, and you can just add that project to your cart. Done deal, discounts already included, all right? So this week, I'm going to start off because I think the best-selling and the most loved project in the Guild is the split top Rubo. That's my workbench that I have right here in the shop, and that's the first one we're going to put on sale. I'm not going to make you wait this year. I'm going to give it to you right away. All right, and we're going to give it to you for 40% off, okay? So after this is done, as soon as I'm done here and I stop doing the live stream, I'm going to run over to my computer and I'm going to discount it, and then you guys can go in and check it out. So if you're curious about it, you know, and maybe you don't want the workbench, keep your eyes peeled, because the next couple of weeks we will be trying some of the other projects, and it's a great way just to get your foot in the door, and you get some great perks just by buying one project. Okay, so that's at the woodwhispererguild.com is where you can get that stuff. And help us reduce our digital inventory, because man, is it heavy, and I don't want to ship it all to Colorado. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. You guys remember the Narex chisels that came in a couple weeks ago? Well, I got myself from Taylor Toolworks a nice set over here. Hold on. I'm going to try to open this and not pierce my jugular. Check it out, baby. So these are going to be my new... I don't want to label them improperly. I have two sets of chisels that I rely on, bench chisels, and I've explained this a number of times. I like to have a very refined set, and these are for very precise work. I do very delicate work with these. Okay, these are my Japanese chisels. But I have a second set, and those are a little bit more, well, they're, you know, let's call a spade here. They're a little cheaper. And these are the ones that get used a little bit more aggressively. I don't worry about it too much. So I like to have these two sets. Maybe it's just me being picky, but I find that to be very useful. So what I got here are the Narex chisels, and they're replacing my blue Marples chisels. And I'm super excited about it, because look at these. Now, here's the funny thing. These are really certainly good enough to be your primary top chisel set. But in my case, I'm super lucky to have those Japanese chisels, that these will now be the ones that I'll treat a little bit more roughly. The other thing is you could also keep a set around, not that you'd want to have 3 sets of chisels, but it's nice to have a set that has a nice low bevel angle on it, so you could do more paring operations, because you don't necessarily want to use a paring chisel for really heavy duty activities like mortising and things like that, because you'll fracture it. It gets a little bit fragile. But if you've got a nice shallow angle there, you could really do some great paring work. So I don't know, maybe I'll use them for that and keep the Marples. But you know, let's be honest, who needs all these chisels? So I'll tell you what, let's do a giveaway for these. Anybody who's watching live. Well, you know what? If you watch this after, I'll give it a couple of days and give these away. Just leave a comment. This is Chisel Me, Spags, and I will send you this beautiful set of Marples chisels. Now, keep in mind, Marples chisels have undergone a couple of changes as per my understanding of the situation, and I believe they were purchased by Irwin. And you can see these are the original Marples made in Sheffield, England, and I believe these are of a higher grade steel than the ones that are produced today. So these used to be one of the best buys in the industry until they were bought out and things changed. I'm just kind of repeating things that I've heard in forums. So that's kind of hearsay. Someone can say I'm wrong, but that's okay. Either way, you can get these guys, all right? 4 chisels. This is a great basic chisel set. This will definitely do you nicely for a while. And I don't think I'm even going to sharpen them for you. I'm going to keep them all dirty and grody looking. What do you think of that? That's fine. It's free. You can't complain, right? So make sure you say Chisel Me, Spags. And I'm going to, just a heads up, here's one thing that sucks about the YouTube live stuff. It doesn't push your comments live into the feed later. So when this video goes and gets posted permanently, those comments don't make it over there. So if you say Chisel Me, Spags now, like all of you are doing, I may not see it later when I go to actually pick a winner. So do yourself a favor. When this thing reposts after we're done here, go back and write Chisel Me, Spags, and then you'll be in the running. Okay? I got a drink. All right, so that's about all I have for you guys. Like I said, a lot of self-promotion. Apologies for that. But, you know, guys got to make a living. I mean, we got this big move coming up now. That's going to be kind of crazy. I sold my trailer. I had a little cargo trailer that I used for moving furniture, like my furniture if I was delivering it to a client. It's been sitting in my yard for years. I just haven't touched it, so it's time to get rid of it. Found a new buyer for that, a new owner, and I don't really have much else that I need to sell or anything like that, so it's just a matter of packing. But, man, what a process this is going to be. I always drink on the job. So, hey, let's do a little Q&A for a couple of minutes, and then I got to get back to work. I've got lots of... Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention, the Woodworkers Fighting Cancer build is coming up. So the next guild project is the clock, and then I'm doing the Woodworkers Fighting Cancer charity build. So let me actually show you that. I've got the sketch up here queued up so you can see what I'm building. Do a little screencast here. And it's really, you know, these projects are not meant to be difficult or super complex, but I thought I'd build a little castle bookcase, little kid's bookcase here. And the idea, basically, you got the little windows, you got the parapet up here, and these little things that you know, where you put your archers and stuff, and they hang out and shoot the trolls that are trying to climb the castle, storming the castle. And down here, I'm gonna have a little drawbridge that's gonna drop down. And I don't know, we'll see how far I can get with the details on this because time is not my friend right now. But we should be able to at least knock the case together and get these plans out to you guys so you could build along in classic Woodworkers Fighting Cancer fashion. And it's looking pretty good. I think it's going to be a fun project, so hopefully you'll build along with us, build one within the specified time frame, and you could help us raise some money for, in this year, it's not, in the past we were working with different cancer research, I think CRI, Cancer Research Institute, and this year we are working with, darn it, what's the name? We found them through working with Kalo, and it's a foundation that's actually, it's not research focused, it's more aftercare focused, all right? So sometimes we like to change it up. All right, here we go. Henry wants to know, Mark, are you moving to the Springs? If you do, I know an amazing woodworker, Jeffrey Keating, he's in the Springs. No, we're actually gonna be north of that. We're gonna stay a little closer to Denver. And house update, if anybody wants to know, we are still under contract on this house, so that's moving forward, and we are now under contract on a new house out there. So everything that we need to do is done, but if you've ever bought or sold a house, you know how this, like, it's not over until it's over, and it's not over yet, and hopefully it will be over soon. Well, you know what? You can store and show off video games in any type of cabinet. So even this one would work for that. It's a fairly small scale. It could work. It's not going to be perfectly sized for classic video games, but it could certainly work for that. Andreas says, hey, from Sweden, love your woodworking. What do you think about Lee Nielsen tools? I'm a big fan of Lee Nielsen tools. In fact, they were at Woodworking in America, which was, it's always cool to see when those guys in Lee Valley show up and you can kind of try the different planes and compare them for yourself. But when I buy like classic bodied planes, I really like the Lee Nielsen stuff. Not to say anything bad about, Lee Valley, the Veritas brand is fantastic, but I tend to just go for the classics. So most of my planes in the tool cabinet over here are Lee Nielsen. Very good stuff. Very, it's pricey, but I think it's worth it. Bicky's Woodworking, do you ever buy old tools from swap meets? I do not, because I don't really go to swap meets. If I did, I might see a tool and say, hey, that looks cool, let me buy it, with the greatest of intentions of tuning it up, and in all likelihood, I'd probably just let it sit on the countertop for a few years. How did the dedicated shop affect the sale? Jeremy wants to know. I don't know. I don't know if it helped or hurt. I know the person who's buying, to my understanding, is doing refinishing maybe or something. I think they're going to use the space as a utility space, which is good. But I don't know if it helped us or hurt us. I know we certainly did not really, something like this is not really going to affect the real estate value itself because it's not livable square footage. And usually if it's livable square footage, then you can kind of, do the math to get a little bit more of that value back. But in this case, I doubt I'm going to see a whole lot back for my investment. How's the clock coming? Well, it's not. I was going to start it this week, but I'm going to do the charity build first and then start the clock. So I'm kind of waiting until the last minute. Kava says, sir, hi sir, who calls me sir. Would you like to make a comment on the new generation of planer blades, those with small diamond-shaped small blades? I think you're talking about a segmented cutter head, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, they're carbide inserts that drop into planer blades, like the Sheelix brand. These are fantastic. I've got one in my planer. It's not an absolute essential upgrade, but it makes a huge difference in the cut quality, the efficiency of it. In a lot of cases, the noise level is decreased, and calibration and sharpening. now consists of like unscrewing a little set screw, turning the thing 90 degrees and exposing a fresh edge, and you're ready to go. So I'm a big, big fan of segmented cutter heads. Someone says, would you check out my channel? It's just a normal question. That's kind of weird. That's actually not that normal. Asking you to check out your channel, that's normal. But stating that it's a normal question, that's not normal. But it made me laugh, so that's good. Where's my red and black, my Black & Decker plane? It's around here somewhere. That's Mateo's. Let's see, Dave and Sue Bagwat want to know, how do you balance time between work and family? Do you have a schedule for each? Well, you know what? Yes, I do. I mean, when your kids go to school or preschool, whatever the case is, you have a schedule, right? They're at school for a period of time. You could work while they're not at home. So that's what it comes down to for me. My work schedule is basically anytime my children aren't in the house, with the exception of the baby. Obviously, she's around a lot more. But especially with my son, if he's home, I don't like to work. So I'm pretty much Monday through Friday, if I'm lucky, 8 hours a day, and don't really work on the weekends. Now, the exception is when I'm under a time crunch, like I'm going to be with the move and everything like that. So I will be working all weekend, and I may wind up just working nights until I get everything under control. But balance, it's a very personal thing. You have to decide how much time is enough family time. For me, family always comes first. Once I became a dad, it's like I don't change my identity. I sort of morphed my identity to include fatherhood as part of it. I'm still who I am, but that's such an important part of who I am now that I actually give that a little bit more, especially at this stage of life for the kids, a little bit more importance than what I do for work. So, but again, that's a very personal decision. Everybody might be on a different part of that gradient. Now, okay, Trevor says, who would win in a fight, Spider-Man or Dora the Explorer? This is not a normal question. And now that's correctly identifying the question. That is a very abnormal question. And it's obvious that Dora would win. The Narex set that I have here is, how do I identify it? Do they have different, I think it's the hornbeam handles. But I don't know if there's a certain specific line within there, but you can check them out, see? I don't think they have that many variations, do they? These are metric, by the way. I know we've talked about that in the past, but they are metric. My saws behind me are just down here on the cabinet, and I took them down because they get too much reflective surface on the light. I don't like the way it looks in the video, so I just took them down temporarily. Wayne Dixon wants to know, do you often change your table saw blades during projects? Something like 40 tooth to 80 tooth, or do you have a go-to blade that you normally use for everything? Most of the time, Wayne, I have my one-size-fits-all 40 tooth combination blade. I'm too lazy to change it for rip cuts and for cross cuts. If I'm doing a special operation, sure, I might put the dado stack in, I might use a square grind. If I'm doing something extremely thick, I might use the ripping blade. But most of the time, for like 99% of what I do, 40 tooth combination blade does everything. That's a combination of laziness and the fact that Forrest makes a damn good blade that actually does both of those tasks pretty well. It's a good compromise. Quentin Rhodes wants to know, hey Mark, big fan. Thank you, Quentin. How'd you start selling your work when you first started? I just started woodworking, making keepsake boxes, cabinets and things, trying to sell them. Well, I went to a few craft shows. I just tried to publicize the business any way I could locally, leaving business cards at certain places. And actually that was pretty effective. That drummed up some pretty decent business. There weren't as many online resources for local businesses, then there certainly wasn't as much attention and calling for sort of artisanal things. Like that's a big thing today is artisanal stuff, right? So people might be a little bit more likely to look for people who can build custom pieces and reclaimed pieces and things like that. So when I did it, it was just more guerrilla style marketing for the most part. And keep in mind, this is why I don't give business advice, is because I didn't do very good, or I didn't do very well with the work that I did as a custom furniture maker. It's a very difficult way to make a living if you're trying to do it as a sole source of income. So that's why I was very happy to start teaching, because it's a hell of a lot easier. Yes, I do have stickers. Not only wood. twwstore.com, and I believe, I can't remember the link. We put up, if you look for like Wood Whisperer stickers, just Google it. I think we have a page up there that gives you an address where you could send a self-addressed stamped envelope and we'll send you a sticker. TJ's Woodworking Shop said, "What's up, my brothers?" Jimbo, he wants me to elaborate on why the Incra fence didn't work out for me. I elaborated as much as I'm going to in the review that I wrote on the website. So if you just search for Incra table saw fence review in Google, you'll find my review. I agree, Sean. Japanese planes are really cool. I don't have any, though. You want to see the 10-year sticker again? I thought I had one loose here. 10-year sticker. Woo-hoo-hoo. Nice. I don't usually do this, but I'll do it today. Amarildo. Where'd it go? You wanted a shout out. Somebody wanted a shout out. No, it was TJ's. I'm mixing up, so forget it. I'm going to act like I didn't read any of that. I just got very confused reading the chat. Oh, Josh, good question. What happened with the kids' kitchen step stool name change? It's very simple. Calling it the Kitchen Helper was apparently it was a trade name, something that was already trademarked. And the company, I guess, when you produce content, video especially, Google will rank that really highly. It values video very highly in search terms. So when I called my project, which I'm not selling the product or selling plans, it's all for free, but I call it the Kitchen Helper. If a company who actually makes a product called the Kitchen Helper and they sell that product, they're trying to sell it, it doesn't take long before Kitchen Helper video starts working its way up in the page ranks in Google searches and other, certainly other search engines. So it was a big pain in my butt, but it was very fair. I should have done a more thorough search on it to find out that it was a trademark name, and then I might be stepping on some toes by using that as the name of my video. So I had to give it more of a generic descriptive term, which is kids' kitchen step stool, because that's kind of what it is. So that's all it was. I just got a lovely cease and desist in the mail while I was in woodworking in America. So it's all good. Aaron O'Neill wants to know if I have a router plane. I absolutely do. And I think if you're getting into hand tools, the router plane is one of the best, especially if you're coming from a power tool world. This little router plane here is one of the best investments you could make because I think for power tool users, you're going to understand this tool pretty easily just because of its sort of fixed positioning. You can't really cut any deeper than this sort of setup will allow you to. A lot of hand tools depend on a little bit more of a manual dexterity, not to go too far, or not to go one pass too many. This is something where you're lowering a blade and it's very fixed, much like a regular router. And I think it's a good entry-level tool that helps you get into the world of hand tools without a whole lot of frustration. So router planes are great. My preferred one is the Veritas version. Got my windows open if you can hear the planes out there. It's actually starting to get like kind of nice here, which is cool. As far as the moving stuff, guys, probably the last 10 videos I've done, I get the same questions each time, so I'm not ignoring you, but I know the folks who watch the show every Friday are sick of hearing me talk about where I'm moving, why I'm moving, all those details. So if you're really interested, I should probably write an article or something or on my blog just so you have something to refer to. So I'm not ignoring you, but go back to one of the other live sessions, and I think I've answered that same question probably the last 6 or 7 times that we've done the show. So my apologies there. The blinds back here, double Ron. I like that name. It makes me giggle. These blinds were purchased. I did not make those. Okay, so Ibrahim, what happened to the old Wood Whisperer video series pool table build? Well, that's a good question because I've never done that, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. Sorry. Yeah, good advice there, Dennis. Don't get the mini router plane to save money because it's really, I mean, it's if you are doing small work and you need that scale, fine, but it's not really going to work that well for general furniture making things. You sort of need the wider base to be able to do the work. Yeah, I never made that FAQ, Sean. That's what happened to it. Mike Walt wants to know, when am I going to use my lathe next? How you doing, Mike, by the way? Yeah, let me see. My problem is I use the lathe primarily like a very utilitarian way. If I have a project that calls for a part that requires something what would you call it, lathe made, lathe built, then I will use it. So probably not for a little while, but I love it. I love the lathe. I just have not gone down that rabbit hole that other people do. It's just kind of, just one of the tools in the shop, but I love it when I do it though. I can see why people get into it. All right, I think I am going to finish up here. I've got lots of things to get done today. And remember, after this is done, come back to this posted episode and what did I say? Chisel me Spags. If you want to win this basic set of 4 chisels that have been in my possession for probably a decade now. So I might be a little sad to see them go, to be honest with you, but you could win those. Spreading the love, baby, spreading the love. Anthony Davis says, remind me again what wax you use for your table saw. Renaissance wax, but you can use any furniture wax. It doesn't have to be Renaissance wax. That's really, it's pricey stuff, but it lasts forever. But I just use that because that's what I was taught to use, and you buy a can and it lasts several years. Oh yeah. What's your opinion on tongue oil? Wannabe engineer wants to know. Take care, Mike. Tongue oil. It's going to be a hard thing. I mean, that's kind of a big topic, so it's hard to sum up. Tongue oil is great. If you're going to use a raw oil, it's probably my preferred raw oil, but it is a raw oil. So there's only so much that you could do with tongue oil if you're looking for lots of protection and things like that. But it's a great either component for mixtures of finishes, or if you're using it as a standalone thing, it's probably one of the best furniture oils you can use that it just tends to be a little bit more expensive. But it doesn't yellow quite as much as like boiled linseed oil. And it is truly a pure oil. There's no additives or anything in there. Okay, yeah, that was not me with the pool table. Quite all right, sir, quite all right. What grit do I keep on my drum sander? Depends. Sometimes I have 80 if I know I'm going to be doing more rough work. But I would say most of the time I settle in at around 120. Depends on what paper I've got, 120, 150, because I still like to do some scraping, a little bit of sanding at the workbench, so I find the drum sander. I still like to do a little surfacing there, so 120, 150 is probably where you'll find the drum sander most of the time. All right, so quick reminder, the t-shirts, 10th anniversary t-shirts, you gotta get your order in by October 2nd if you want to get one of those bad boys, and you get a free sticker with your order. Let's see, what else? Oh, and I'm glad I reminded myself, the Rubo sale. So again, every weekend, 3 days for the next couple of weeks, the next few weeks, the next couple months, I don't know, we'll see, is our giant inventory reduction sale in the guild. And you're gonna get 40% off this week, the split top Rubo. So go there now. We'll go there in 5 minutes. Let me go fix it up. Let me go change the price, all right? Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Bye-bye.